I'm even more pleased and honored to welcome on stage Dr. Adam Back, the CEO and co-founder of Blockstream. Please put your hands together.
Thank you. All right. Hello, everyone. Okay, so from the beginning of our involvement in the Bitcoin space, we've had the shared vision of Bitcoin as a hard-neutral money for the internet, peer-to-peer money, trust minimized, sovereign, immutable, final. But that vision has always been bigger than currency. It's also about upgrading the financial system. And today, tokenization has become a central theme in that evolution. Institutions are exploring it for the increased efficiency, to streamline asset life cycles, and reduce operational friction. But the interesting question is not whether the assets can be placed on the blockchain, but when high assurance is mandatory, what is the system that guarantees integrity? So first, a brief note about Blockstream. So for more than a decade, Blockstream was started in 2014. Blockstream has been building core infrastructure for the modern financial system, payment rails, layer 2 networks, secure wallets, hardware and software, enterprise custody, and high assurance smart contracting systems. Our role has been consistent: to provide the tools that allow Bitcoin to evolve from digital money into the foundation for the financial system. That infrastructure now operates at meaningful scale. So the Liquid network secures over 5 billion in TVL. The Blockstream app and Jade hardware wallet are used globally for self-custody and liquid assets. Today, I want to share my view of why this architecture enables something more, an institutional-grade tokenization system built on Bitcoin itself. So many tokenization systems today rely on upgradable smart contracts, administrative keys, and complex governance structures. Even if the base chain is immutable, asset behavior can often be controlled in the application layer, where rules can change. That adds some uncertainty to the finality of the system. Key question is simple: where is enforcement anchored? Issuers need controls. That's a feature of regulated markets, but settlement integrity should not depend on discretionary upgrades. It should be enforced by transparent, economically secured consensus rules. Bitcoin provides that foundation. Proof of work secured, globally distributed, battle-tested, resistant to governance capture. When tokenization layers are anchored to that base, asset issuance and programmable logic inherit deterministic consensus. And over time, my thesis is, tokenization will migrate towards the strongest settlement guarantees. Markets converge on certainty, and that favors systems built on Bitcoin. So comparing different layers in Bitcoin, so people will think about Bitcoin that it's a single asset network. They will say it's not programmable, even though it does have robust, simple programmability, and that it doesn't have strong privacy, and Bitcoin can't scale, or blockchains can't scale in general. That's blockchains are hard to scale. Now, with the layering on Bitcoin, you have Lightning for retail payments, Liquid to tokenize any asset. So Liquid is a sidechain to Bitcoin and has robust tokenization platforms live since 2018, today with over 5 billion in TVL on it. And those are real-world assets, i.e. tokens that have been issued by businesses that enabled a new transaction to happen, a new sale to happen, a new use case to happen. not just tokenizing something where the ownership remains the same. So with Liquid, you have verifiable rules instead of institutional trust, a global network where ownership and settlement can be confirmed through consensus. Bitcoin is intentionally minimal, optimizes for security and finality, not feature velocity. So the question is, how do you extend functionality without weakening the foundation? And that's where a layered architecture matters. On the Liquid network, assets can be issued and transferred within a Bitcoin-based framework. Liquid enables protocol-level asset issuance, so the assets are natively understood in the chain. They don't require smart contracts to issue, to transfer. Liquid is also the network that originated the confidential transaction mechanism, so a very simple and robust way to have commercial confidentiality within a blockchain. Transparency is good and interesting, but for financial markets, it's well known that you need confidentiality to avoid front-running, to avoid leaking open source intelligence. And Liquid is one of the very few networks that provides that. And explicit governance within a defined multi-party trust boundary. And then for Lightning, that's about speeding up blockchain transactions and making them more scalable. That works both on the Bitcoin base layer for retail micropayments, but also actually on Liquid as well to accelerate Liquid as a UTXO chain. So together, Bitcoin, Liquid, and Lightning form a layered financial architecture, base layer finality, programmable asset issuance, scalable payment channels. A system where tokenized assets can operate with market-level functionality while remaining anchored to Bitcoin's settlement guarantees. So on Liquid, we have a next-generation smart contracting system designed for Bitcoin originally, but implemented and deployed on Liquid, Bitcoin Layer 2, for over a year now. And the point with simplicity is to extend the utility of tokenization, a new smart contracting capability. Simplicity is purpose-built smart contracting language designed specifically for the Bitcoin architecture. It's engineered to preserve the properties that make Bitcoin resilient: deterministic execution, UTXO execution model, predictable use of resources, and formal verifiability. So you have much stronger security guarantees and predictability than with other smart contracting systems, and even arguably than today's Bitcoin smart contracting. So simplicity now enables contracts to be mathematically analyzed prior to deployment and executed with strictly bounded behavior. So in particular, the simplicity interpreter itself has formal proofs that it will correctly interpret all simplicity scripts or programs. Execution costs can be calculated in advance, and the contract logic can be formally verified, in contrast to most smart contracting systems today. There's no hidden upgrade path or ambiguous runtime interpretation. For institutional markets, that certainty and security-first approach matters. When the logic is formally analyzable and deterministically enforced, operational risk are materially reduced. Liquid then provides the issuance and settlement framework. Simplicity provides the programmable financial logic within that framework. Programmability without unpredictability. So adoption has moved beyond experimentation. We're seeing now that on Liquid, real-world use cases are accelerating. The vast majority of TVL on Liquid is from projects that are not demonstrations. They're real assets that are using the blockchain to serve a business opportunity. Institutions are no longer asking what is possible, they're asking what is reliable. The priorities are clear. Risk management, confidential settlement, compliance integration, operational determinism, security first. These requirements demand more than token issuance. They demand infrastructure designed for contract enforceability in a Bitcoin-anchored architecture. Settlement integrity derives from decentralized consensus. Issuer authority is explicit and structurally bounded. Confidentiality is preserved where required. Programmable logic is constrained and verifiable, so the security-first approach again. This is about alignment with ambiguity. So, to recap, we began with a simple idea. Tokenization is not just about digitizing assets, it's about deciding what system global markets will settle on. Web3 has expanded what is possible, as accelerated experimentation. It's shown that capital markets can move on open infrastructure. But as the space matures, experimentation gives way to responsibility. When regulated institutions participate at scale, the standard changes. Settlement integrity must be durable and final. Governance must be explicit. Execution must be secure, robust, and deterministic. And the foundation must be economically secured against rewrite. So again, the finality guarantees. That is why I believe markets will ultimately settle on Bitcoin. Thank you.